Hey curious folks, everyone knows the little green plant. Many also debate and discuss whether it really should be legalized. But should it really? What are the consequences of this? I'll give you a heads up. This supposedly harmless plant should never be legalized. But don't worry, the video doesn't end here. Want to understand why I think this? Come with me. Hey curious folks. Guys, these green plants are one of the great evils of humanity. It's no wonder they are banned in many countries. And I tell you, these countries are absolutely right. But why? What can they cause that's so bad? Curious ones, we could spend all day listing the problems. But before we start, subscribe to the channel, activate that notification bell, because if you like this type of content, you not only found it here, but I guarantee we will be bringing quality content to the channel every day, alright? So let's get to the points. 1. Memory loss. Well, let's start talking about the effects of this plant on memory. It's not just about forgetting small details, like when you go to the kitchen and forget what you went there for, admit it. I know it happens to you too. Anyway, we're talking about a literal deterioration of short, medium, and long-term memory. Continuous use prevents the brain from forming new memories, essential for learning and applying daily knowledge, like following a new path, learning a recipe, new knowledge, or even forgetting to like this video. This negatively impacts not only personal life, but also the individual's professional life, taking away their ability to function independently. All this because of a harmless plant. 2. Violent behaviors and chemical dependency. When we talk about the violence and dependency associated with the use of the plant, the situation worsens, and a lot. The plant alters perception and reasoning, which can turn everyday situations into high-risk scenarios. Dependents often find themselves in situations of conflict and desperation, looking to feed the addiction at any cost, which can include criminal behaviors, such as theft and assaults. It's a vicious cycle of need and satisfaction that deteriorates not only the user's life, but also those around them. I've personally been through this, folks. Imagine being a mere 7-year-old child, and suddenly an addicted relative of yours tries to break into your house wielding a knife and acting like an animal. And there are still people who say it doesn't affect the person. It not only affects the person, but also others around. 3. Mental health issues. Now about the psychological consequences. It is crucial to highlight that the use of this plant is directly linked to an increased risk of mental disorders. Studies link frequent use to a higher risk of anxiety disorders, depression, and even psychoses, such as schizophrenia. These are real risks that can result in substantial personal and social costs. 4. Diseases. Moving on to health problems. The impact of this plant on the respiratory and cardiovascular systems is extremely worrying. Long-term smokers may face everything from chronic bronchitis to more severe diseases such as emphysema, not to mention the cardiac issues that can arise due to increased heart rate and pressure on the heart. These conditions can severely limit the quality of life, preventing basic activities such as walking, subscribing to the channel, or climbing stairs. 5. Trafficking and crime. Beyond the effects on individual health, we cannot ignore one of the worst things that the little green plant brings: trafficking and local crime. Legalization could paradoxically intensify this problem by increasing the accessibility of these harmless greens without necessarily eliminating existing illegal networks. This can perpetuate, rather than solve, the crime problems associated with trafficking. And the list doesn't end here. Curious ones. There are many more factors that only support my point that this plant should continue to be illegal. But hey, did I convince you? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Comment below, folks. Let's debate, discuss. I'd love to chat with you. And don't forget that curious ones, because you have no idea how much it helps us. After all, without you, we don't function. You are our strength. Curious ones. But if you don't like controversial topics like this one and prefer something more sci-fi, I talk a lot about this in my video about What if the Earth stopped spinning? But if you prefer to stay on controversial topics, you can watch this video about: did Jesus exist in real life? So that's it, curious folks. See you soon. Until next time, and always stay curious.